Right. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. We're going to give everyone a few minutes here to get into the room, and then we'll kick things off here. We know there's a lot of places you could be, so thank you so much for spending 30 minutes with us. We do think that this topic is so important. When we heard about it, we knew we needed to do a session with all of our clients. Um, Ultimately, we do see this upcoming data change as something really positive. It's going to give you the ability to enrich your records in real time and just have a lot more complete customer profile data. But we do want to acknowledge that without a good plan in place to continue enriching this in the future, there are going to be some potential downsides that you should be aware of and kind of be prepared to take action on. So that's why we're here today. And our presenter, Emily, is going to walk us through all of this. I'm sure a lot of you are familiar with Emily, but for those who aren't, she is our VP of Partner and Client Success here at Dynamico. She's been with us for more than 8 years. And she is just an expert in everything HubSpot and then keeping up to date on all of these innovations and changes and getting them passed over to all of our clients, like the ones we're going over today. So she is going to save time at the end of the presentation for Q&A so we can really make this 30 minutes the most valuable for you and speak to the questions that you have. So please put those in chat. And I think with that, I will post a little poll just to get us started. We are just kind of curious, like your level of use with insights and kind of like what brings you here today and how much of an impact this might have for you. So I'll go ahead and post that and then kind of hand this over to Emily to get started here.
Awesome. Thanks, Sophie. And while Sophie is posting that first question, I just wanted to welcome you guys all to today's webinar again. It's our first customer-specific webinar. I'm sure probably unlikely to be our last, but we're super excited to have you all and to give you a half hour of your time. And yeah, as Sophie said, think that this topic is really timely and hope that you guys get a lot out of today's session. So with that, I actually want to kick us off by establishing a few sort of shared definitions or terms that are going to be important as we continue through today's webinar. The first is first-party data. First-party data is information or data that your company has collected or captured directly from your audience. So it's not information, or it's information that your leads have provided, maybe, for example, through a form submission. And it could include information like their name, email address, phone number. Website activity would also fall into this first-party data category. And then also things like products or services of interest that maybe you captured based on their engagement with you over time. By comparison, third-party data is captured or collected through an organization external to your company. And typically it's going to be compiled from a number of different sources and then eventually gets bought or purchased by another company. So for example, if you've ever purchased a list of like emails or phone numbers, that would be an example of third-party data that your company has used. Now, third-party data is a lot of times used in a process called data enrichment, which is the process of adding supplemental or additional information to records inside of your CRM. An example of this is that when a new company is created inside your HubSpot portal, HubSpot automatically adds a publicly available or known office address to that company record. This is done through a feature in HubSpot called HubSpot Insights. HubSpot Insights is a database that HubSpot has built up or collected through third-party sources, web crawling, and crowdsourcing information. And if you have HubSpot Insights turned on inside of your HubSpot portal today, you likely have noticed that when a new company record gets added to your portal and it has a unique company domain, HubSpot will automatically enrich that record with additional information that helps you build out a more robust customer profile inside of HubSpot. The reason that we're here to talk about that is because on March 17th, HubSpot will actually be sunsetting HubSpot Insights. What that means for you is that if a contact comes to your website today, as well as in the future, any first-party information, first-party data that you're capturing, information you're capturing, is going to continue to flow into your CRM. So for example, if I've got Susan coming to my website, Susan fills out a form and provides me with her email address and phone number. That first-party information, as well as information about the pages that she viewed, and any products or services that she might be interested in that I've captured from that engagement are also going to continue to be known. The company, if Susan uses a non-personal domain email or email address, the company that she's associated with will also continue to be created and associated. But some of that information, like industry that you might be using to tailor your email campaigns, or annual revenue that you might be using to inform lead scoring, or the location of that company that you might be using to support automated lead routing, for example. All of those data points are going to go away with the sunsetting of HubSpot Insights. So obviously we need an alternative way to get that information into HubSpot to enable these use cases to continue to function. Now, you could add that information to your forms and ask Susan to fill out some of the information that's really critical to enable these use cases to function inside of HubSpot. But we know that as the number of form fields goes up, the conversion rate goes down. And so that's not really an ideal solution. You could also go back to, asking team members to input that information into HubSpot and to go find that and sort of like source that information on the web themselves. But that's highly inefficient, really prone to human error, and also obviously just not an overall great experience for your team members using HubSpot. And so today, what we are here to talk about is an alternative solution to replace HubSpot Insights before that sunset date that would enable your use cases to continue to function inside HubSpot moving forward. Now, if you're not using HubSpot Insights today, or maybe you're not super familiar with how your company is using it, that's okay. A lot of what we're going to cover today is going to be relevant for you either way. But obviously extremely critical if you're in the category or in the camp of somebody who is using HubSpot Insights to enable, especially things like automation, reporting, or segmentation. So today we want to introduce you all to Breeze Intelligence. Breeze was actually launched by HubSpot in the second half of last year at Inbound. So for those of you who have heard that name before, maybe know a little bit about Breeze. Breeze is the topic that we're gonna talk about as the primary recommendation or alternative to HubSpot Insights. So what is Breeze Intelligence? Breeze Intelligence is a database that HubSpot has built out using LLMs, or large language models, and AI to really collect and capture third-party data from across the internet. And with that data set, has built out a robust database of over 200 million buyer and customer profiles. This actually offers you one of the most unified data sets that exists in the marketplace today, which is huge. It enables a lot of really cool use cases by putting all of that first and third-party data directly at your fingertips inside of HubSpot. There are three main features or functionality of Breeze Intelligence that we're going to talk about. The first is enriching contact and company data in your CRM, so that kind of direct alternative to HubSpot Insights. But it also offers two additional functionality in being able to showcase or highlight buyer intent, and then also shorten forms to increase conversions. The result of all of that functionality, those three features, is a more effective and efficient go-to-market strategy that go-to-market for your team, I should say, and that really keeps your data enriched so that you can keep your business growing. So first up, let's talk about HubSpot Insights, what I'm calling 2.0, Breeze Intelligence's data enrichment capability. This offers you one of the most, like I said, unified, powerful data sets in the market. And it's constantly QA'd and updated by HubSpot, providing you the latest context on contacts and companies in your CRM right at your fingertips. Today, access to just that first party data really isn't enough. So Breeze Intelligence is going to make sure that you have access to the third party data that enables you to automatically enrich those records with customer information like location and industry and annual revenue right inside of your CRM, which helps you continue to build more robust customer profiles, and then also automatically empowers you to take action inside of your CRM at the right time. It includes all of the data that was previously enriched and supported by HubSpot Insights and a heck of a lot more. And actually, the quality of that data has gone up substantially as well. It can enrich your records, a ton of records all at once. And this can be done with some of the automatic and bulk enrichment functionality that is built into the Breeze Intelligence tool. And so with that, you're able to add new customer details to your CRM records really quick, like faster than you can say bulk enrichment. But that's not all that it's capable of doing. Let's talk about some of the secret sauce and things that make Breeze Intelligence different. The first thing I want to talk about is starting with finding your highest quality leads that actually have buyer intent. Breeze Intelligence makes it really simple for you to create target markets inside of your CRM. But better than that, it then enables you to find and highlight prospects within those markets that are showing signs of high intent. For example, if someone is spending a lot of time looking at your products or services pages, or maybe spending a lot of time looking at your pricing page, it's a pretty good sign that they're really interested in you. So Breeze Intelligence is going to look out for those types of signs and then automatically tag a prospect as high intent. It'll also help you identify things like who is in your CRM and who is a brand new prospect and enable you to get them added so that marketing or your sales team can give them a little TLC and extra attention. This really showcases the power of bringing all of that first party and third party data into a single source of truth and unifying the data, again, right at your fingertips. Now, you've gone through the trouble and done all of the work to get a buyer with high intent over to your website. It would really stink to not actually capture that lead because your form is too long, right? Like we've all been there, at least I have. I find something I'm interested in online and I end up abandoning, whatever it is, because when I get to the form and see it, I'm like, there's absolutely no way I'm going to fill out all that information for this. Breeze Intelligence will help make sure that you never lose a lead because of a long form ever again. And that's because Breeze is actually going to automatically input any form fields that are already known inside of its data set, which means that all that a prospect actually ends up seeing or all they're going to see is the information that requires their input in order for the form to be submitted. This enables you to really quickly and easily convert that lead and hand it over to sales, making sure that you're getting the most out of all the effort that you put in to get them to your website in the first place. It's that easy, fast, and unified of a tool. Breeze is simple and intuitive. It's functioning right inside of your HubSpot CRM, just like HubSpot Insights is today. It's fast and enables you to automatically, in bulk, or with a single click, enrich records inside of your CRM. And it's unified. It seamlessly connects your first-party data with third-party data and enables automation and workflows to run. So again, enables those tailored email marketing campaigns to continue to function, enables lead scoring to continue to add or subtract points based on data values that are known, and enable automated lead routing to continue to occur. It also enables your team to take action directly inside of the same system where all of these customer profile details are being built out and accessible. But HubSpot's Breeze Intelligence tool is not the only data enrichment tool in the market. And so we did want to take a second to acknowledge some of the other options that exist and explain why we think that Breeze Intelligence is still one of the best options that you guys have with the sunsetting of HubSpot Insights coming up. First is that Breeze Intelligence is embedded into your CRM, and more importantly, your workflows, reporting, and any segmentation you already have built out. Makes it really easy and fast to enrich your CRM data, and you're not having to push it over from another data source or manage multiple data sources to try and guess at which source is showing you the right information at any given point in time. Access to all of that first and third-party data that you have is going to be unified, and it's going to be powered by your smart CRM inside of HubSpot. And that also is what enables things like that those buyer intent insights, as well as form shortening for faster lead conversion or lead capture. And you can do all of that without requiring an integration to be set up or maintained by anybody. Some of the other options in the marketplace will meet some of these same features and benefits of Breeze Intelligence, but none of them are really going to offer you that same robust set of features. And again, directly inside of a system you're already using. And it's highly competitive from a pricing perspective. So the last thing that we want to cover today is just giving you guys an idea of what HubSpot's Breeze Intelligence features cost. Because obviously today you guys are experiencing and benefiting from HubSpot Insights as a part of the free CRM. So we want to make sure you have a good understanding of what that means and whether this would be a viable option for you. In just a second, Sophie's going to come back on and actually talk about next steps and how we can support you as a Dynamico team through this process. But before that, just to give you guys a sense of what the cost looks like and is this an option for you, you can buy this in one of a couple of different packages. You can buy in SKUs of 100, 1,000, or 10,000 credits. And obviously, as you go up, you're going to see a little bit more bulk or discounted pricing. So for example, if I wasn't quite ready for 10,000 credits, it's more records than we have in our system. I could purchase, for example, 4 or 5 1,000 credit SKUs. And you can see that that would be more cost effective than my cost per credit at this 100 credit tier. Now, another thing for you to know is that you don't have to enrich all records inside of your system. So some of those automatic and bulk enrichment options I mentioned earlier will give you the ability to set criteria or rules for what records that you want to have enriched. And then you also have the option of manual enriching individual records as well. And you can also dictate specifically what information you want to have enriched. So for example, if you want to have location come in, but revenue isn't important to you, or you measure revenue differently than than the way that maybe HubSpot natively wants to recognize annual revenue. You can pick and choose what property or information you have flowing into the system, but the cost per credit is regardless of how many different properties you're updating. So you're talking about a credit being equal to a record enriched, so a contact record or a company record, rather than the number of individual properties or data points on that record that's enriched. So with that, I'm going to hand things back over to Sophie to talk through next steps again and how Dynamico can support you through this process between now and March 17th when HubSpot Insights will formally be sunset. And then we'll also open things up for the last like 10 minutes or so for a little bit of Q&A.
Awesome. Fantastic. I will just share kind of quick results of the poll too for anyone who is curious. It sounds like most of you who responded on the call either feel like you moderately or heavily are relying on these properties in HubSpot today. So we just want to let you know the presentation, this will all be sent out to you as well as the slides. So you can reference these later, give some thought to this, share it with anyone else on your team that it's relevant for. And then as you think through any specific use cases, questions, maybe hearing this, you immediately feel like, yes, we need to get this set up now so that we're not picking up the phone on March 16th and realizing that life got busy and you forgot. Um, these are your account managers. Again, I'm sure names and faces look familiar. You can always reach out directly to them or just respond to that email. We're here to support, whether that just looks like talking through how this will impact your specific CRM, all the way to kind of helping implement this and get it set up and talk through even maybe some of these other options if you are considering another data tool and what that would look like in HubSpot too. So whether you're currently working with us, your account team knows about this change. They're up to speed on everything, just like Emily. Some of you I know have worked with us in the past, but we're still, dedicated to your success within HubSpot. So we're here and don't ever hesitate to reach out as you're walking through this transition here.
Awesome. Thanks, Sophie. Sophie, with that, do we want to jump into Q&A? I don't know if we have any questions that have come in up to this point, or if we want to, if there's questions that anybody has that they want to throw into the chat. But we wanted to make sure that we're at least saving a little bit of time, last few minutes here, to address any questions that you guys have. If there's anything that's urgent, that's come up as you've heard, the context shared over the course of the webinar so far. One question that I know some people might have is what's going to happen to their existing data that's been enriched by HubSpot Insights up to this point. Any properties that have been enriched already by HubSpot Insights prior to that date will remain inside your HubSpot CRM. And one other detail I do want to call out is that one of maybe the biggest concerns that I've heard so far from customers that I've talked to is the enrichment of company name. So, for example, if again going back to that example we talked about at the start, a contact fills out a form, they use a non-personal email, so something other than like Gmail, Yahoo, iCloud, etc., and a company record gets created. The one property that HubSpot will continue to enrich, even if you don't have Breeze Intelligence set up in your portal, is the name of that company. So company name is a property that will continue to be filled regardless of whether or not you elect to go with Breeze Intelligence after HubSpot Insights is sunset. One question that I just see pop up in the chat from Deb, does Breeze Intelligence work primarily when a form is submitted, or can it work with existing clients in our database? It's a great question. Breeze can work on, regardless of how a record got into your CRM, it can enrich any record that is created inside of HubSpot. Any contact or company that comes in, whether it be through a form submission maybe a manually created record by somebody on your team or an email that was logged to HubSpot, for example. It doesn't matter where that record came from or how it was created. Breeze Intelligence is able to enrich any record that exists in the system. Another question from Wendy. We're going to be using Content Hub, so is Breeze baked into that, or is it totally separate? I think it depends on what you mean by baked in. So if you mean, is it baked into the pricing of Content Hub or Marketing Hub, for example? The answer to that is no. The Breeze Intelligence, I'll actually jump back to this pricing slide, is a separate product SKU. You would buy one or more of these credit packages to sort of like get access to Breeze Intelligence inside your HubSpot portal. And there is a one-time SKU that can be purchased that will backfill and enrich up to 1 million contact or company records inside of your HubSpot portal today, immediately upon purchase. Now, one of the benefits to doing something like that, even though HubSpot Insights has been enriching some of this information up to today, is that it the database behind Breeze Intelligence has improved significantly. The quality of that data is much better. And there are a number of additional data points that can be enriched that HubSpot Insights wouldn't have covered. The way that Breeze Intelligence is baked in to your HubSpot portal is that it's really embedded in your CRM and is going to enable you to really maximize some of the features and functionality across all hubs inside of HubSpot. So Wendy, using your question about Content Hub specifically as an example, it would enable you to, if you're doing any personalization of like a landing page, for example, you want that to show up differently based on the industry that somebody is recognized in. You could actually tailor that page to be industry specific or to know whether a customer or a lead, those types of things. And so Breeze Intelligence is going to enable you to really maximize and personalize experiences for your customers with those tools across things like Content Hub and Marketing Hub and Sales Hub. But it is a separate SKU, so it's not baked into the pricing of those individual hubs. Another question that I just got, can I customize which data fields Breeze Intelligence populates? Great question, Trimbach. Yes, you can absolutely customize and configure which properties, which data points or information in your CRM are updated. So sort of two ways that you can configure this. One is what records get enriched. So you don't necessarily have to enrich every single record that gets created inside of HubSpot. So that's sort of configuration or customization option number one. And then the second thing that you're able to do is say which properties on those records you choose to enrich, you want to, which properties or data points you actually do want HubSpot to enrich as well. So for example, this subset of company records, and I only want the industry, the number of employees, and the address or maybe the state of that company to actually be enriched. You're able to configure and customize both of those things. And again, regardless of how many data points or properties on a record you enrich, you're paying for a credit is paying for basically the enrichment of that record. So you can enrich as many different data points as you would like on that individual record. With that, I know we're coming up on time. If you have additional questions, things that we didn't get into today, please reach out to your account manager. We are all here to support you in really getting a better understanding of what in your CRM would be potentially impacted when HubSpot Insights is sunset. We can help you determine fit for Breeze, and specifically what package might be right for you, of those ones that we were just looking at, and then also help you get Breeze set up inside your HubSpot portal ahead of that March 17th date, so that your any use cases that are supported by the properties currently being enriched by HubSpot continue to flow. With that, thank you everybody for your time. Again, we're super excited to have you all a part of our first company or customer only webinar. Hopefully not our last. And I hope to see you guys all soon.